It should record. Okay, yeah, it's red. Okay, so welcome everybody. This is Cryptophil, and today we have AMA part 2 with money. So the first AMA was around, I guess, 4 weeks ago, something like that, and it was extremely successful. A lot of people, including myself, we learned a lot about how the elephant token itself and futures are working, because there's so connection there. And I didn't know. I was listening, by the way, by the way, today is SK Crypto again, and thank you for everybody who are here, who is listening. There will be a lot of people who is going to listen this one afterwards or in YouTube. So feel free to listen in 1.5 speed. Will be much faster for you. Okay, so I was listening today. By the way, we're going to chat for trunk and farms. I'm very pumped for farms. What I didn't know how they work till SK explained me 2 weeks ago, and I add so much money, not so much money, but I add my tokens. I breach to because it's no a permanent loss. I guess SK going to explain everything, and then I just ape in. I just freaking ape in. You know, not everything, of course. Everything was just whatever I can afford to lose. So my first question is, before we go to the main topic, I was listening, your main guy, your main dev, and then he mentioned that they are 40 or 60 different contracts. How many there are in this, how to say, ecosystem of elephant money? How many tokens, how many contracts there?
How many contracts? Someone can correct me if I'm wrong. I want to say it's like 41. It's over 40. It's not 60. Yeah.
Okay, that is crazy. I think that's 40 contracts to make them and to make them to work all together how they are. It's like freaking I don't know. It's like a spider web, you know. It's like crazy. It's crazy. All right, like I was surprised. I was shocked. Okay, so SK again. Thank you so much for coming back to us. Everybody loved your enthusiasm last time. Sorry, I know it's 10 o'clock your time. Here is 6 o'clock. But we must do around 6 because I have at 7 o'clock, I'm babysitting my kids, you know. So
yeah, we'll keep
let's crack on. Let's talk about, last time we explained elephant and how it's working, and futures. How is that working? And why it's just go and listen that video, because it's so much information out there if you want to learn more, and how we are all hyped for elephant money. And after the AMA, I sold total of 70% of my Bitcoin, what I have. I don't have like Bitcoins. I only have 0 point something, zero, whatever. And I bought elephant token, and I did a video. Do I'm stupid or I'm smart? I will find out in 1 year, 2 years time. You know, so, and yeah, I'm feel confident now. I filled my bags with elephant token, and now I filled my farms ready, and now I'm going to build up with futures. So that's me. That's my plan. So you tell us how farms are working, and also wherever you want to start first, trunk token, and how is that working, because we know it's undervalued right now. Or farms first. So wherever it's better to explain first, because I know one is connect with the second one. Go ahead.
Yeah. And so, yes, thank you again for having me here, Phil. I'll try to go through everything trunk related, since we've covered the main, and then let me remind everyone, the main focus of elephant money is the and futures. That is the play right now. You know, for the new folks, it's too much to absorb when it comes to teaching somebody trunk. Trunk is kind of on the back burner right now. It's not obsolete. It's not dead. It's going to come back, but it can't do that until after the elephant token supply shocks. So that is first and foremost. You should learn that in the part 1 and 2 AMAs that we've already done. And just to remind everyone how close we are, remember the event that the community has dubbed the flippening is upon us. So this is where Bertha size in red on this chart is going up, and the combined LP totals here are going down. And pretty soon, when these cross, this price of elephant should start to accelerate rapidly. We know this, and this is not speculation, because it's based on historical data and what we've witnessed in the past. It's kind of like we have a crystal ball. Not last time the LPs and Bertha flipped right here on this X is when the first time happened. So just a reminder that that's the linchpin to everything around elephant money. And when that occurs, you have to remember too, this goes into all the naysayers or all the questions about, oh, is Trump going to go back to $1? How does it go back to $1? Right? And it's because of Bertha. Remember, when Bertha, who today is valued at like $23.5 million, remember, Bertha is comprised of elephant tokens, right? So when elephant token experiences its easy 10x, 20x, 100x, well, let's just stick with 10. That $23.5 million times 10 is what, Phil? $235 million.
Million. Yep.
Yes. So when the value here in red of Bertha shoots up and she is worth 235, maybe $500 million of outflow from Bertha that's buying Trump on a daily basis gets larger and larger the larger that Bertha gets. Okay. So then she starts buying way more Trump, and as elephant token supply shocks and price appreciation, the asset value then buys more Trump on a daily basis and brings Trump back to $1 along for the ride. That's what happened before. That's what's about to happen again. So anyway, let's jump right into farms. So yeah, feel free to stop me anytime, Phil, as far as the farms go. But let me just say that I'm not a huge fan of traditional farms. Okay, we've all seen so many different iterations of this across different exchanges and across DeFi, and they all kind of have some of the same issues, if you will, and that's impermanent loss, right? A lot of people don't. Let me see. They usually have like deposit taxes. They have withdrawal taxes of like 3% in and 2% out. And if you pair your BNB with Ethereum, those two prices, those two tokens go different directions on the price. And when that happens, that imbalance in the liquidity pools and the way their ratios are set up, they have impermanent loss. You end up, if you wanted to pull out of the farm, you might take out less than what you're truly owed. And so what the elephant money farms does, and this is one of my favorite aspects of the ecosystem, is it does not have that problem. This is yet another BT innovation when it comes to farming. And the cool thing about Trunk right now is when you position this early, okay, you capitalize on the ride up back to $1. So for example, in a nutshell, if you were to put $10,000 total today, you got 10 and you put it into the farm. Okay. That's going to, start your farm value out at a $10,000, starting position. But after Trump goes back to peg from today's price, so that's roughly like a 6x, your farm value will no longer be $10,000 as it is today. A year from today or whenever Trump pegs, it will 6x along with the Trump price appreciation. So your farm value goes from 10,000 up to 60,000 that you are now earning the maximum APR of the pools you're in, which if it is a 10x multiplier will be 125% APR. That's pretty nice. Pretty nice. So, do you have any specific questions yet, Phil, or a direction you'd like me to go?
Yeah. So basically, can you just maybe simple explain again? Like, let's say, I don't know, you pair BUSD with Trunk. Again, the Trunk, what you're getting, because like you sent me a couple of voicemail. It was so like specifically describe that wherever you put cake, you're going to get cake out. Wherever Trunk you put now, it's let's say it's worth the same amount of the cake. However, when the Trunk price go up, was supposed to go back, hopefully, in the near future, I don't know, a couple of months, few months, whatever time is take, then we're going to get 7-8 times more Trunk. However, the very important things what you mentioned is what I remember is if you pull out your stake and if you want to get back, it's different. Correct?
Yes, correct. And yeah, okay, so I know where to go with that. In some of the traditional farms, there is a benefit to pulling out your LPs and then repositioning back in, right? That way you can kind of reset the ratio. When it comes to the elephant money farms, because the two tokens you put into any of these pairs, it doesn't technically create an LP token. It's more like dual staking. And what it is if you choose to put in like one Bitcoin, for example, you have to pair it with the equivalent dollar value of Trunk. So if you put in $10,000 worth of a Bitcoin, and you have to pair it with Trunk, well, Trunk at 15 cents, you would have to put in 66,600 Trunk tokens, because that is the equivalent $10,000 valuation to what you're putting in. And then you pair that into the farm, and they're kind of singularly staked in parallel, and then you're earning Trunk as a reward off of that. So positioning early right now is good because, okay, you put in $10,000 worth of a Bitcoin. On the other half of the token, you know that you put in 66,000 Trunk tokens that is not worth $1 yet, right? So after Trunk goes back to peg, when it goes back to peg, your farm value is locked in from your early position. Now and it's good that you got in early to take advantage of stuffing in all that extra Trunk, because if in this case you were to pull your BTCB Trunk position out, you're not going to be able to stuff back in 66,600 Trunk tokens. You're only going to be able to put in the equivalent amount. So let's say Bitcoin, whatever a year from today, is still worth $10,000. Then that means you will only be able to put back in, when Trunk is $1, $10,000 worth of Trunk, which is 10,000 tokens of Trunk, not the 66. Does that make sense? You can't stuff all of it back in.
Okay, so also it is very important, as I remember, because I listened the voicemail, the voice chat like 4 times, and it is very important. When Trunk go back to $1, this 66,000, yes, you can pull out and you make 66,000. You put 10K, you get out 66,000. Happy days. However, if you don't take them out, let's say, the APR will be much higher from now on, because that's how it works. And you're going to earn the APR in that 66,000 Trunk tokens. So that's the key what stay in my head. Okay, because let's say I put now $2,000, worth of money, and equivalent amount of Trunk token for 2,000. Okay, so that's around whatever it is that, like 12,000 Trunk token I have. And now I'm earning a 20% APR. So when the Trunk go back to $1, I'll have almost $14,000 inside worth of money, and I only put like a couple of thousand now. Happy days. I can pull out, get out, or stay there and it's work, and you make crazy APR on that $12,000, but you already only put, let's say, $2,000-3,000 worth of money. So that's what I have in my head. And correct me if I'm wrong.
No, that is exactly right. And I'll run through even my position right now. So, and then just this 66,000 that you're looking at on my calculator right here, this is just how many tokens of Trunk are on the Trunk half of this BTCB farm pair. Okay, remember this too, Phil. When you put in today your $10,000 worth of Bitcoin, which is probably like 0.4 Bitcoin. When you put in that $10,000 worth of Bitcoin, remember, this is a personalized vault for you. And because there's no impermanent loss, your 0.4 Bitcoin that you put into here never goes up or down. It is frozen in time. But what the farm does is it credits you the equivalent amount of Trunk that it's worth. So check this out. You put in 0.4 Bitcoin. The system credits you that $10,000 worth of Bitcoin as 66,000 trunk. And then you also paired it with an actual 66,000 trunk. So this times two, your farm value is actually credited 133,000 trunk. Okay. That when it's back at peg, this is what you're earning APR on. 133,000 trunk will be $133,000 that you will be earning whatever the APR is for that. So in this example, I'll show you mine. Right now, I've got a total value in my farm of 108,000 trunk tokens. Okay. 108,000 trunk tokens. Did I put $108,000 into this? No, I didn't. What is 108,000? Let's just say I averaged, I don't know, 20. Oh, no. I did that all wrong. Sorry, it's first thing in the morning. I can't math. This probably overall, since the farms has come out, averaged, because I kind of DCA'd into trunk on the way down, but I probably only put in like $21,500 total into the trunk ecosystem, this farm right here, to get a valuation credit of my farm at 108,000. And I've happily positioned with this here because I understand that when this goes back to $1, that I will be earning 125% APR off of $108,000. That's not too shabby if you ask me. What is that? Like 125,000 trunk per year that I'm earning.
It's scary to think, to be honest.
Yep. And so I will never break my farm position because I want to capitalize as, this position because I'm in this early and I know the long game for elephant. I'm in it to win it. So I want this as part of my, my passive income play out of the elephant money ecosystem to have a healthy farm position. And even with this, when we talk about Stampede later, like right now, my current position yields me enough rewards on a weekly or monthly basis that I can take 200 of this trunk and I can go compound my Stampede bag with this. And so I'm compounding that because Stampede, remember, if you understand how futures works, Stampede is now identical to futures with the caveat that it is peg adjusted on the daily rate. Futures pays out 0.5% a day, whereas Stampede does up to 0.5% a day. It's peg adjusted. So right now it's lower, obviously, but I'm still building that position because I'm way ahead on my Stampede than I am on my futures position today.
Okay, can you just very short and simple explain again? Because I guess a lot of people will ask, how the heck can, let's say there's so many people now, position themselves in the trunk. How trunk, again, can you just explain very simple, how trunk can sustain, when it's come to $1, how trunk can sustain that $1 to pay everybody, let's say on the farms overall, I don't know, 50, 60, 100, 120% APR, like that is unbelievable, crazy, I'm talking about stables even. How is that possible to be sustainable so high APR for the price that doesn't crash again?
Absolutely. So everyone always wants to label everything in DeFi a Ponzi, right? The difference with Elephant Money is that this is a community bank. This is where people are going to want to go and they can capitalize on so many different aspects of the ecosystem. Okay. You've got your coin lovers are going to just, capitalize on the sky high price appreciation of Elephant token. You've got your ROI DApp lovers here. You've got your farm lovers here. There's so many different avenues of those 41 different contracts that we talked about in the beginning. Those are an orchestra of everything that's just perfectly aligned with each other to keep Bertha growing. Okay. BT said the words like, every token out there in DeFi has the constant product formula. This isn't why Elephant token goes up. This isn't why the system works. It's how those 40 plus contracts are interacting with each other to keep everything aimed at Bertha's growth, so that the asset appreciation exponentially climbs higher than the debt appreciation. Okay. So it's a combination. It's all the engineering that he's put in. Okay. So when I talk about that, the governance strategies right here is where your trunk price will go back up. So there's a community press button here called PEG, which is the trunk peg strategy. At the moment, there's like 309 BUSD right here. This fills up on a daily basis, okay? And when someone comes and hits the peg button, they call the contract, it will take this $309 and go purchase trunk on the PancakeSwap pair. But here's the difference. This isn't building up a lot of money on a daily basis. This is not outpacing the sell pressure of trunk. But when Bertha appreciates in value, this daily number gets way larger. Okay. The exact percentage in the background, that's part of the secret sauce that BT will not divulge. However, there is a certain percentage of this elephant treasury that comes out on a daily basis. I'm just going to throw out an arbitrary percentage. Let's say 0.5%. This is how the system's paid for, everybody, if you're listening. Right now, today, 0.5% coming out of $23.8 million isn't a lot of money buying trunk on a daily basis. It's not really moving the needle, if that makes sense, okay? So 0.5%, arbitrary percentage, comes out of $23.8 million, buys trunk at, what is it, 15 cents, and it's not working, okay? So after the supply shock, when everything goes up based on the charts that we've already seen over here, after this red skyrockets upward like that, you can imagine that this is going to be $238 million, and 0.5% of that a day coming out buying this starts to move the needle drastically. Okay. And that's how trunk goes back to $1. And it doesn't stop. You got to think, Bertha does not stop buying trunk on a daily basis. As she gets bigger and crosses 500 million, 750 million, $1 billion worth in the elephant treasury right here, she on a daily basis just keeps on buying trunk. That's all she does. And it's just going to keep it at $1. There is no amount of sell pressure going forward into the future that's going to drop the peg of trunk long term. It's just going to keep staying at $1. So hopefully that makes sense.
Yep, probably will listen tomorrow again. So, okay, that makes sense. That's nice. Okay, so now we're going back to trunk now. Okay, so anything more you want to explain for trunk and crash,
no.
By the way? Because that's why also a lot of people asking. And how old is this trunk?
So, yeah, Elephant Money Token, that came out, I want to say it's like May 4th of 2021. And then trunk wasn't introduced until September. Yeah, September of 2021. So about 5 months later. And trunk came out. And then soon after that, or actually, that's when the Elephant Treasury was also introduced as well. And then Stampede came on a couple months after that. And then it's been off to the races. So trunk pre-exploit used to be comprised of like 75% BUSD and 25% elephant token. All that's out the window. You know, the system's been hardened and upgraded since then. Trunk price is now overly collateralized by BUSD and elephant token. And so as long as elephant token is appreciating, we know from the last AMA that it will, trunk is going to go back to $1. There is not a scenario where trunk does not go back to $1 after the elephant token supply shocks. They have to exist with each other. Okay, elephant token goes up first, and then trunk comes along for the ride. That's the part that people need to remember.
Do you think the price of trunk token can fall more than 0.15 at the moment?
Yeah, potentially. I don't think it'll ever go to zero just because Bertha, even at today's levels, is buying trunk on a daily basis. But, you know, it's asymptotically going down. This will get as close to zero as it can without actually getting to zero. But it's got a nice, strong floor right now. It's kind of acting like drip price, right? Like, you know, the closer drip price gets to zero, the slower it's getting to zero. Does that make sense? Like, it's been hovering at that 50 cent for a while, and then for a while, it's it's not going to zero because it's just harder and harder. It takes so much more liquidity to sell to get that there. By the time, I don't know the exact timeline, but I don't think this will go much lower than what it is right now. I mean, maybe 12 cents or whatever. And if it does, you should be scooping it up because this will go back up to $1. But yeah, it all depends on the timeline of the supply shock. Okay. If that happens, if that flippening event occurs here within 2 months and we start going off to the races, and then all the chart watchers and algorithm people are coming in by the droves to buy elephant token because they're seeing it moon in the middle of a bear market, that's going to be all sorts of money coming into Bertha as well. That is then going to increase the daily buy pressure of Trunk. So this, if it goes lower, it won't stay low for very long. So yeah.
Once the supply shock, how long do you think will take? Usually, I think according to your maths, how long is it going to take to Trunk token to get back to $1?
That's a really hard prediction just because there are some people with liquid Trunk out there that are just probably looking to get out. So I'd imagine after Elephant Token hits the 10x and we're at $238 million sitting here in the Treasury or more, at that point, you're going to see the levers in the background really dialed up so that this governance contract for the PEG strategy right here, this is going to have a huge dollar amount every single day come through. And this is going to start organically, going up. It's going to hit 42 cents and then 57 cents. It's going to go up and then people are going to sell it back down. So I think Trunk will actually remain volatile during the supply shock until all the paper hands truly get out of the way. And then once, the sell pressure is kind of off, it's only a matter of time before it goes away, but the volatility will cease, and then this will climb back up to $1. So I don't know. It depends on the timeline of the 10x right here. If people think this will 10x by the end of this year, let's just say by December 31st, we're at a 10x on the Elephant Treasury, then I would say you'd see volatility on this price probably for another, I don't know, man, 4 to 6 months after that. So that's why in my mind, I think Trunk doesn't go back to $1 for like another year, a year from today. And that includes all of the volatility.
Let's put Bitcoin happening next year.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So, fine. I'm happy. You explained Trunk, you explained farms. The farms was very important. What I learned today is, like you say, you're getting the APR, not just on 66,000 and 10,000 BTC, just example, but you getting to 100 and to double of the 66,000 Trunk. So that I did not know that, but that's a big thing because check this out. I'm just putting in my head right now. I'm trying to play the system out. All right. So what's the best thing to do? I build up my bag with Elephant token because we know Elephant will crack on, when the supply shock happen, and if everything is fine, hopefully, we talk about 5, 10x easy. I'm talking about easy X, let's say by next year. I'm very conservative. All right. I don't want to give like prediction, 50x by Christmas. And happy days if that happen. I love that 10x by a year from today is considered conservative. Everyone let that sink in for a second. That's amazing. But it's conservative. But check this out. Bitcoin next year, even if crazy thing happen, I think, according to, again, that's financial advice, by the way, my opinion is Bitcoin is not going to go to 100K. I think that's maybe 2025. That's me. Again, we talk about, 40, 60K. We're going to go up and down for the next, it's so many crazy things happening with Bitcoins. It's just crazy. So let's say Bitcoin did 3x from now, 75K in 1 year time. It's not going to happen, but let's say. And we're talking about 10x Elephant token. In between time, we make money on futures. Also in between time, we make money into the farms, Even now, it's 20% APR, 20%. Who give you that money? Hopefully Trump token is not going to tank a lot. Like you say, it's going to go a little bit down maybe, but that's about it. The floor is in. I hope so. So, but even if you hold by 1 year and these go back peg, even if it's not $1, even if it's 70, 80 cents, you still make all that crazy APR. What I'm doing is I'm just compounding, and then in between time you do 10x on your token, you make your future money out, and then you just become freaking rich, simple as that.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely, man. A lot of people are doing that. As trunk price goes up and the APRs climb up with it, people are earning more trunk rewards on a daily basis, and there are plenty of people compounding it. Oh, cool! I got 1,000 trunk reward right here. I'm going to sell half of it into my Bitcoin Binance, and then I'm going to pair it with my remaining 500 trunk and strengthen my farm. Like people are doing that, or some people are even just taking fresh Bitcoin and then pairing it with that 1,000 trunk reward that they got, and they're still strengthening their farm. Compounding is really smart while trunk is at a low price.
Yeah. My goal is to compound till trunk is 40 cents. Just basically whatever I make, add fresh capital and just pair it, just pair maybe till double the price from now, let's say 30, 40 cents. It's a guy asked Crypto Friendbot. He says, as someone looking on the sidelines, what will you recommend doing? Is there multiple routes? I guess I just give my explanation. Also, for taking profits, that's obviously helpful. Is it like take a portion one time a week? I guess that depends of you. It depends how much money you have stake. If you have $200 stake, it doesn't make sense. But if you have like SK stake 100,000 trunk worth of trunk token at the moment, I think it's worth, every few days just get profit and then maybe just, compound or sell or do whatever you want. I guess that's what I'm going to do if I have more money staked.
Yeah, exactly. So that's pretty much the farms. We can move on. I could probably wrap Stampede and Trumpet into one part. You like?
Yes, we have time, so feel free, go ahead so we can finish everything. So in 2 AMAs we have everything completed so we can all learn. So go ahead, please.
Perfect. Okay. So just so everyone knows, when you come to the trunk page, there used to be a staking right here. That's no longer, it's been deprecated right here. It no longer exists. So anyone who stake percentage here, pull it out and then throw it into Trumpet. Trumpet is the new stake that we'll get into here in just a second. But I do briefly want to touch onto Stampede. We don't have to spend a lot of time on this because this works exactly like futures. Once BT had the light bulb moment and he said, aha, I fixed the problem with the ROI dApps. I got rid of the hyper compounding. I got rid of the serial claiming. When he figured that out with futures, he then immediately updated the Stampede contract to move away from the old hyper compounding model and made it into the futures model. So this works exactly the same way, folks. If you haven't migrated, make sure you migrate to version 6. And then your total bond value of the past will be your total value locked right here. And you're earning, a peg adjusted APR. Remember, if Trunk was at peg, this would be like 182.5%, somewhere in that neighborhood. But right now it's not that. But you can see I have 972 Trunk rewards, and I have the option. If I wanted to compound this in, then I would hit my Stampede button, and then I would deposit a fresh 200 Trunk. If I did that, my 972 would compound in to my balance plus the 200 Trunk I put in. So that's how you compound in this. It requires a fresh 200 Trunk, which today only costs like $30, right? So keep that in mind. But at peg, it'll be $200. So, and then alternatively, if I wanted to just claim, I could do that too. If I hit claim right now, I'll pull out 972 Trunk, and it will deduct 972 Trunk from my balance right here. So this works exactly like futures. Any questions on Stampede?
How people can migrate?
When you come to the Stampede page, this Stampede button underneath your stats, it'll say something like migrate to version 6, and then you just do that. You approve the contract, and then that's it. You hit your stuff right there.
Okay, perfect. Let's go. Let me check the chat. Anybody, guys? If anybody have any questions, feel free to ask or just join in the chat. You're all unmuted, I guess, most of you. Just to go back to the farms, I just remember. I remember something, but I forgot. Doesn't matter. Ignore me. Sorry, ignore me. Go ahead.
If you think about it, yeah, holler back at me.
Yeah, I guess it's just, yeah.
Okay. So after these part 3 and 4 AMAs, you should understand, deprecated staking with Trunk, but all the stats are on that page, so pay attention to that. There is one more thing about Trunk too. I can't believe I didn't mention this, so sorry. The redemption queue. Okay, so when we talked about the governance strategies here, we looked at this peg adjusted community button right here. We looked at peg, right? And look, it was $309 before, now it's $324. So you see how it's just constantly climbing. There is a redeem strategy here too. This redeem button goes into paying out people that enter this redemption queue. Okay, and so when somebody enters this is where you're allowed to put in cheap Trunk. And up all the way up to 10,000 Trunk tokens is what you can throw into this. And at some point in time, you will get paid back dollar for dollar on that Trunk. Okay. So if you put in $2,000 today worth of Trunk and you max out your 10,000 allocation you can put into here, at some point, probably within a year, you should get 10,000 BUSD back is what you would get. So, we got a baby on the mic.
It's not mine. I guess it's not mine. It's not yours. Mine are downstairs. I guess it was from Ryan, from one of the member.
Oh, I gotcha. It's all good. Yeah, everyone just mute your mic, please. But so right here, as Bertha, right now, we know Bertha, the elephant treasury, has $23.5 million in her. As she climbs up to 235 million and beyond, the redemption queue, the money going into the redemption queue is getting a lot larger on a daily basis too. So all that money is coming in to cycle through people faster to pay them out dollar for dollar on their Trunk. And all the Trunk that gets thrown into the redemption queue also gets burned. So that does help the peg as well. So that's an important note that people should understand too. Right now, it's pretty congested. You can see that I'm in position 979. I'm waiting on a 1,000 BUSD payout, and I'm out of 2,500 people right here. But it's congested at the moment because Bertha, we're still in recovery mode. She's not healthy yet. But when she's flying here in just a couple months, trust me, this is going to go lightning speed. And people, that volatility we talked about on the Trunk price. When people are buying it for 40 cents, it jumps up to 70 cents, it goes back down to 40 cents. There's an opportunity for arbitrage there, holding liquid Trunk or taking that cheap Trunk and throwing it into this redemption queue to get paid out dollar for dollar. So that's an important thing.
Any questions on that? But I'll put some Trunk to be honest.
Yeah, you can throw some cheap Trunk in there. Because we're at the cusp of that supply shock, I'm willing to make a bet that you would get paid dollar for dollar within a year. So think of it this way too, Phil. How many other protocols can 6x your money within a year? Okay. You're going to put in Trunk at 6x cheaper than $1, right? And within a year, because of the supply shock, because of Bertha's growth, she's going to be cycling that redemption queue faster. You will get 6x on your Trunk token within a year. How many other protocols can say 600% in a year? Not many.
Sustainably. 600%.
Yep, exactly. So anyway, we can move on to Trumpet. This is the new version of Stake. Okay. Trumpet, if anyone is familiar with these, and I don't want to go too much into detail with this because the math throws people off, but this basically is an always up token. This is where Trumpet has a price, right? And Trumpet is comprised of just Trunk token. There's no elephant here. There's no Bertha, doing this. Actually, no, she does play a role, but I'll get into that later. But you take your Trunk token is what you do here. And then you come over and then you mint Trumpet with your Trunk token. And so if I were to put in one, or if I were to put in like one Trump trunk token into this, I would need to buy, actually, I wouldn't have enough. If I were to put in 1.43 trunk tokens, I would get 1 Trumpet token. That's what this price is doing. And this price started at 1. This is more of a ratio. I don't like calling it a price, but this ratio started at 1, and now it's all the way up to 1.43. And how this goes up is that when you put trunk token into this, you are taxed 5%. Okay. And then when everyone, sells and whatnot, you're also taxed 5% on the way out. Okay. And that trunk that's captured, when you put trunk in and you're getting 5%, you're getting taxed 5% in and out. You're creating a heavier backed supply of trunk token compared to the Trumpet supply. You see how there's 6 million trunk tokens in the back supply and only 4.1 million in the Trumpet. So if you were to divide the amount of trunk in the supply versus the amount of Trumpet right here, you would get this price of 1.43. All right. And this is designed to only go up. Every time someone mints in and out of the system, this price goes up. So long-term, Phil, I know this is a lot I'm throwing at you, but if you were to buy a bunch of Trumpet right now for this current price, you just hold this long-term and check this in a year or two, and this price is, or this ratio right here is going to be, instead of 1.41 or 43, it's going to be like 5, 7, 9. Okay. And what that means is it's multiplying however many X's this ratio climbs is how many X's you're pulling out of the trunk you put in originally. Does that make sense? So if you put in 10,000 trunk today, and then you wait for this to go up 10 times the price right now, so 14.3, the 10,000 you put in today, you're going to pull out 100,000 trunk later. Does that make sense? And that trunk will be at $1. So you're actually going up in price in 2 ways. Trunk today, that's going to 6x back to $1. And you're going up in trunk ratio, trunk to Trumpet ratio right here. So you're putting in 10,000 trunk, you wait until this is 10x higher, and then you pull out 100,000 trunk ultimately. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I don't have clue what is the Trumpet, and I always want to ask you, but I didn't have that. I wasn't ready yet. But I'm so glad you explained it. Definitely will put 1,000 or 2,000, probably tonight or tomorrow, and I'll just leave it there, and I'll put my alarm clock or my calendar to remind me in a year. Definitely, I'll play this now. This is my question. Because now we can see it's only going, I think a lot of people are hyped for futures as the contract is growing up like crazy. If you open June, you will see, guys, it's just crazy. I don't think anybody claimed for their money. I can't believe. And then everybody buying the token. Now, do you have any statistic how Trumpet, is there any new people coming in here, new money coming in here also for the farms? Is there new people staking there, or it's not very, popular at this stage and moment?
I would say exactly that. It's not that popular right now because it's not been the focus. And if you pay attention, I know you've been seeing inside the Elephant Money Telegram chat, but no one's in there talking about Trunk or Trumpet or farms. No one's talking about it because we don't want to talk about it. It's the only weak point that anyone can point out at the system, which is, your thing used to be $1 and now it's not. Oh my God, blah, blah, blah. Like, okay, you just wait, I'll tell you, I told you so later. But right now, that's why the focus is Elephant Token and futures, because they are winning. The stats are winning, and they are what's growing Bertha. And it's inevitable about the supply shock or face off. And when that happens, then Trunk goes back to $1. Then those naysayers are going to be like, oh man, crap, maybe I should have bought some Trunk too. But no, these are not popular platforms right now. Because Trunk isn't $1, right? And so it's overly complicated to explain to everybody too. So people that watch this part 3 and 4 of your AMA, This is just for the hardcore, the people that are already happy with their elephant and their futures positions. If they just want to, when they fall in love with elephant, because, I tell this to people all the time, once you see it, it can't be unseen. And once you fall in love with the ecosystem and all the different ways that you can diversify within the ecosystem, that's what this AMA is going to be for. They're going to be like, oh, I want to learn more about Stampede and Trunk and Farms and Trumpet. That's what this is for. This is for the hardcore that want to deep dive further into the ecosystem after their elephant token and futures. So right now, this is not where the spotlight is. The activity isn't the greatest, but for people that are interested like you right now, Phil, this is a sleeper hit. The whole Trunk ecosystem is a gigantic opportunity besides the elephant token. This will 6x not only in price, but now you're going to have a price appreciation on this Trumpet too. And there is a Dune page on Trumpet. I've not done my research on this recently, so I don't want to just pull it up and kind of wing it on this AMA. But there are Dune analytics. You can go study it. Anyone can go study it for themselves. I do want to highlight one other thing, though, about Trumpet, which is really cool and why this is better than the old staking model. Because you don't have to come in here and compound anything. You don't have to babysit this, right? You just throw Trunk in, get your Trumpet, and then you just wait. And you come check back in, and you're like, oh, damn, like I can pull out way more Trunk, and it's already at $1, and I can, you can do all that. I wanted to say, how earlier, Phil, we described that Bertha is on a daily basis buying Trunk token. Remember that part?
Yep.
Yeah, and she was already doing that by design. That's just peg support. Hey, my name's Bertha. I'm just gonna selflessly go buy some Trunk, and I'm just gonna hang on to it. I don't want to do nothing with it, but I just want to buy it because I want to support the peg. And today, she's not big enough to buy a lot of Trunk, but we know she will be large enough to buy a shitload of Trunk. Excuse my language. But now she's got a new feature, Phil. That very same Trunk that she's buying on a daily basis, she's just given some value added to the ecosystem. Guess what she's doing with that Trunk now, Phil? Do you have a guess?
Maybe she's getting Trumpet.
Boom. Yes. She is buying or minting Trumpet with that. She was already going to buy Trunk anyway, but now she's minting Trumpet. And this is the key. She is selflessly burning that Trumpet. She's not putting it in and then redeeming it out, right? She's not minting Trumpet here and then just redeeming it out to pull out some Trunk with a 5% in and out tax. She's literally coming in and minting Trumpet, and then she just destroys it. It literally just evaporates. It's gone. She burns it. And what that does is it drastically increases this supply number versus the Trumpet supply number, and it shoots this price up. Okay. And I'm going to show you a quick little spreadsheet jammer right here. Let me see if I can go down to maybe 200% is good. Yeah. Okay. So check this out. The peg support is that governance strategy that is buying Trunk on a daily basis. And hopefully I don't mess this up. I used this on the tutorial video and I haven't opened it ever since. But basically, and at that time I made the video, look at this. The Trump price at that time, Phil, was 1.27 on the Trumpet price. This had to have been like 2 or 3 months ago. Yeah.
Okay. So we're talking about 10 to 15%, so like 7% a month. I'm pretty good in math, so okay.
Actually, what we can do is I'm gonna update the numbers right now. Let's see. So we got 6 million in supply. I'm gonna put 60000, and then over on we have 4183. 4183000. Okay. So look at how you see how this price matches the current Trumpet price, 1.43. So It's basically right there. So now check this out. What happens when Bertha comes through and, over X amount of time, she buys this number right here, 10 million Trunk tokens is what she purchases. And then when she deposits it into Trumpet, look what happens to the trunk back supply. It goes from 6 million in the trunk supply, and it goes up by 10 million, right? So she puts that in there. Now it's a 16 million trunk supply. And the trumpet that she got out, basically, she's getting 10 million trumpet tokens, quote unquote, because she bought it at this price. So if you put 10 million trunk into this price, you are getting 10.8 million trumpet. Okay. Which is that received. What do? I don't want to mess myself up. But anyway, she puts in 10 million and the price goes from 1.43 up to 1.48. Okay. But then this is what she does. That very same trumpet that she got. Oh, yeah. Sorry. So 10 million trunk turns into 6.6 million trumpet for her. My bad. I misspoke. Okay. Which increases the trumpet supply to 10.8 million, up from 4. That's what this is. Okay. So I got my bearings. Sorry, I'm rusty here. But anyway, she then, dude, takes this trumpet that she got, 6.6, she burns it. It's gone. So the 10.8 million in the trumpet supply now reduces back down to 4.18.
Back to and then the price dropping. I think going up almost double and a half.
Look at that. Look, when she burns it selflessly, because remember, Bertha doesn't give a damn. She's already rich. She doesn't have medical bills. She's not buying new houses and stuff. She just selflessly mints trumpet and burns it. And look at what that alone does to the trumpet price. Okay. It drastically shoots this up. So now let's say over time, and after Bertha's healthy, she's buying a crap ton of trunk on a daily basis, minting trumpet, burning trumpet. Let's say over the course of 3 months, she cycled out 30 million trunk tokens into this. Oh, let me add another 0 to that. A volume of 30 million trunk tokens goes into the ecosystem, gives her 19.8 million trumpet. She then selflessly burns it, and then look at that price. Look at that price. And this is what she does on a daily basis. You see what I'm saying? Right now, she's not, the trumpet price isn't shooting up drastically because Bertha's tiny. $20 in Bertha right now is tiny compared to what she's about to be when she's $500 million, when she's $1 billion. Okay? Imagine when she's $1 billion, the amount of trunk she's buying on a daily basis and cycling it in through trumpet. What if, man, maybe she cycles in through like 60 million tokens. Look at how that price goes up on trumpet. So this means, Phil, that you put in 10,000 trunk tokens today. Remember that? You put in 10,000 trunk tokens today. And if you wait long enough, 1, maybe 2 years, and that trumpet price is 15.77, that's how many trunk tokens you're pulling out. Your 10,000 trunk tokens turned into 157,000 trunk tokens, more or less. I know there's a 5% in and out tax, whatever. But like you see where I'm going with this. You are pulling out way more trunk tokens than you ever put in, exactly, and it's valued at $1.
You just pull out 14x. I think yes. I start liking Trump much more. So I'll put like this. I'll put elephant token. I'll put futures. I'll put trumpet and farms in the same. So yes. I like trumpet a lot now. Definitely I'll stake some trunk token, definitely. I did not know this, but this is amazing. I think
this is a sleeper hit, but it's so complicated for people. They don't want to understand it. But for the people, like I said, that have that aha moment that just want to dive in and learn more, this information exists. This stuff is out here for everyone to learn. And right now, people are just focusing on elephant and futures because that's what they should be focusing on. But you imagine in the future, man, when everyone's like just gravitating towards elephant and they just want to learn more, this AMA that you're doing today is going to just be gold for people to see what's going to happen here. Whenever 100 million trunk token cycles through this, and then you're looking at a trumpet price of 25, bro, it's going to be crazy. So anyway, that's trumpet. I think we've hit our 1 hour cap. So do you have any other questions?
No. No, I think for Trumpet, I understand everything. I think you explained so simple. Me personally, I just understand everything. And then, okay, so let's don't give more information. It's 7 o'clock, my time. Let's just, guys, listen. If anybody want to ask anything, now is your time. Next thing I want to mention, I agree with you. This is right here, Trumpet, the farms, trunk, it's all sleeping giants. Everything is sleeping giants because everybody is focusing now, let's say Bitcoin and Ethereum, in the two big thing. And now in this ecosystem, we have elephant money, the token and futures, and everything else is behind, which is like blue chip projects right here. And nobody talk about them, but now is the time to accumulate. And then when everybody starts chatting, when Bertha is big and fat and rich and giving money everywhere and buying everything and burning everything, then is the time to take profits and go on the beach. Now, this is my question. You chat with a lot, I guess, with the BT, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so is he working also for new things, new updates? Any partnership, anything like
yes.
upcomings, what you're allowed to say or mention, or maybe you're not allowed to say anything, like is he thinking to improve this new website, new something like that? I'm just asking.
Yeah, absolutely.
And also when we can get that guy on the AMA, maybe in the future we can get him for some AMA.
Oh yeah, he's got his eye on you, man. I think eventually he'll definitely have an AMA or sit down with you, but for right now, he's just working, he's coding, and this is the next cool alpha that you get. These governance strategies, right now, there's only 3 buttons. There's a buyback of when BUSD buys Elephant token, and stuffs it into Bertha. You got trunk peg support, and then you've got the redemption key we talked about. Well, pretty soon, there's going to be a 4th button here, and that's what he's coding right now. And hopefully it's out maybe by August. But he is working on, how I said that there's a certain APR coming out of Bertha that's filling these pools, and then the community hits these buttons. Okay. There is going to be a 4th allocation, and there are going to be a set of NFTs. And now he's still working through the details on the NFTs, but basically, whatever they cost, if they're 1 BNB or 2 BNB, you can buy an NFT, and it's not going to have a picture on it. These are just utility NFTs. You will then be able to stake it and earn part of the APRs coming out of Bertha on a daily basis. And when the community hits this 4th button, you will get, paid out your elephant token. So these NFTs you purchase with BNB, you stake them, and then you will get paid reward in elephant token. Let that sink in. That is going to be amazing. And when you imagine that elephant treasury right here, 50x itself, or when this is at $1 billion and you're earning basically a 1% APR that's coming out of Bertha and then distributing equally across the NFTs that are out there, you are going to get a lot of elephant token that just goes right into your wallet whenever this contract is called. So that is the next big play that is coming to elephant money. And that all of that cash injection of BNB files are going to go directly into the elephant treasury. So it's going to be another added boost, which is going to supercharge. At that point, we would have already crisscrossed. We'll already be going up the parabola, but we're just going to steepen that parabola and go deeper into the supply shock by the time those NFTs actually come out. So that's going to be a really exciting thing to look forward to. And then for a site refresh, that's like down the line further, but he wants to get all the functionality and the feature complete for the entire ecosystem before he starts updating the site. Because right now in his current form, he can kind of move things around, and as he builds new things like the NFTs and the governance contracts, the UI, he can do all of that, but he wants the system to be 100% complete before he does a site refresh and overhaul on graphics.
Okay, there you go, guys and girls. We have the alpha straight here in the AMA. I guess I'm the first one who's going to, where everybody learning, correct?
I think you're going to be the first YouTube channel that sees it. He's been talking about it in the Telegram for a little while now.
Yes. I'm saying for YouTube, so that's good. I'll put in my video AMA with some alpha inside. Wait to the end. Okay.
Wait to the end.
That's a lot of information. All right. So, anybody have any questions, guys? Because the kids are getting crazy here. Yeah, I mean, it's not easy when you have kids. Two annoying kids. Doesn't matter. Anybody have any questions?
It's okay if not.
You want to check the chat? Čekaj, ne možem se ušte 5 minuti. Oh, sorry guys. I was screaming.
You're good.
Yeah, sorry, it's in my language. I said just 5 more minutes, just stop crying. I guess, all right, SK, listen, I guess that's about it. Let me wrap up. Again, thank you so much for explanation a lot. I think we can chat probably for an hour, easy, chat about the project, about like how we're all going to shit ourselves when we're going to hit like in the first 100 tokens, in the first page. And then we're going to hit like the first 70 tokens, first 60, first 50, tokens. I can see, elephant money going there. And then just enjoying the rewards and your Telegram going to blow up, and then everybody coming and chatting, and the YouTuber is so flow will be feel full again like last year. Do you remember like everyday videos and video elephant token double the money, elephant token 5x, 4x, 7x? It was like every freaking day videos everywhere, and I got so hyped. Like everybody, you buy when it's green. And now, after we burn so many times, now we buy when it's red. Simple as that. That's why I did a video 2 days ago. Listen, guys, I'm buying now. The market is down. I'm DCA. That's me. I'm not buying anymore when it's red because I always got wrecked. Always. So yeah, that's crazy. I'm going definitely to use this Trumpet. I'm definitely going to put some tokens there. Yes. So because we have futures, elephant, farms, trunks, Stampede, and Trumpet, everything is explained in this will be part 3 AMA in YouTube. And again, thank you so much. If anybody, by the way, if nobody watched my video for More You Give, More You Receive, I'm doing like a donations video for the poor people in the Philippines, India, and Africa. I'm going to visit some kids in India in September. Feel free to watch, donate something if you want, will be highly appreciated. If not, just go and do something good for the world by that. Okay, that's about it. Do you want to add anything before we wrap up, buddy?
No, I think that was pretty all-encompassing. I was just trying to think through while you were talking if I forgot any, but people can do their research, but don't count this raffle out. So this is integral to Stampede. When Trunk is back to $1 and it's identical to futures, you just choose your favorite token. Do you want to just go in with Trunk on an ROI DApp or with BUSD or both? But just know that Stampede, the Trunk side of the ROI DApp, has a daily raffle. So as you participate and deposit into your Stampede with 200 Trunk, you get a random chance at this prize money right now, 9.3K Trunk that goes into your Stampede. And or you can go for the max depositor. If you deposit the most amount of Trunk into your Stampede, you might snipe this max deposit position, and then you will also win 9.3 thousand. So just want to throw that out there. But other than that, no, I'm ready to close. It was a pleasure to be here, Phil. Thank you so much, man. I enjoy our DMs and all the talks that we have, man. And you're doing wonderful charitable, and God bless you for that. And just thank you for this opportunity once again, brother.
No worries. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being our guest, and thank you for all the full explanation in details what we need to learn for this amazing project. I will have you again here in a couple of months' time, probably before I go in August or when I come back in October somewhere. And then hopefully then we have everything, NFTs and all that stuff, and we can rock and roll. Maybe if the NFT in August before I go, probably we can do one more AMA. All right.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody. We're going to close the chat. Have a wonderful night, day, wherever you are. Have a great morning and day, SK. And goodbye for now.
Goodbye. Thank you.